I feel super awkward filming in public. I think it's been a while since I've done it solo. Yeah, it's a little bit noisy here because I am at a restaurant. I'm actually the only person at this restaurant at the moment. I am at kaisendon, and the original plan was I was meant to have bagels, but when I saw the queue and the amount of people that were there, I kind of just chickened out. I didn't want to film by myself. So I thought of getting Don Donkey sushi instead. But because I normally get that, I wanted to treat myself today. So I'm having a sashimi bowl. I really hope it's nice. I think this is really funny. I haven't done like solo vlogs in a while and I really miss it and I really want to do it again beginning this year. And I feel like there's a lot of things that I want to update you guys on, like just about my life and stuff. And I haven't really sat down, made the time to do the video. I've actually been pushing it back for the past 2 weeks, which is why I haven't uploaded anything, because every time I wanted to go outside to film, it's been raining, and also I've been like sorting through some like emotional stuff, so I haven't really been in the right frame of mind to do that. So hopefully I can let it all out in today's video. So I'm having this sashimi bowl. It looks really promising. I hope it's nice. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Although I must say that the seaweed is a little bit off color, so I don't know if it's fresh. It's not bad. I really like the chunks of sashimi. Overall, I think the meal was okay. If anything, I felt that eating at Poke Theory yesterday was really nice. Like the sashimi had a lot of flavor. This one feels more basic, so it's a little bit underwhelming, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. Yay! I made it to Stadium MRT, so I'm actually having my class here. It's with Odyssey Board. I'm super excited. It's my first time longboarding, and I thought that would be really nice to treat myself and do something different. I think that's something that I really want to focus on this year, especially for the channel, to do things that like scare me and things that are exciting at the same time. Yeah, so like even vlogging in public by myself, it still scares me, but I'm trying to put in the effort to do that. Anyways, my instructor Troy, he was so sweet. He actually gave me instructions on how to get to where I'm supposed to meet him. So I'm gonna follow this and we're gonna go find him now. I feel like once I start vlogging, then I get comfortable. I just don't feel as awkward. But like the initial inertia is very strong for me to like even get to it. So anyways, I'm trying to find this place. I actually thought that class wouldn't go ahead because it's raining, but Troy managed to find like a sheltered area, so I'm actually really excited to start the class. And he was also really sweet because I was messaging him and saying that, oh, I actually brought a vlog camera, I hope you don't mind. And then he was like, do whatever you want. So sure, I'm gonna vlog this. Hopefully you guys feel encouraged to step out and do what makes you uncomfortable as well, because I think it's always really fun. So I think I was headed the wrong way, so I'm backtracking a little. Okay, I feel like I'm on the right track because this was definitely where I'm meant to be according to his instructions. Okay, so I definitely found the right place. I just need to find it for gate 18. I'm actually really surprised that there's a running track here. It's quite cool. And there's a couple of people like just exercising. So yeah, I think it's a really interesting place to be. It's actually really nice out here because of the wind and how like open space it is. So yeah, very refreshing. Okay, so I'm waiting for class to start. I'm gonna be a little bit shameless. I'm I'm also using my left mic here, but yeah, I wanted to show you guys a quick outfit before I change out because I thought this pretty cute. I don't know how the audio will be because it's pouring, so let's hope for the best. But yeah, I'm wearing this really cute oversized vintage style t-shirt. I realized I actually really like them. It's really big, comfy, and then I've rolled up the sleeves. And I'm wearing this gray pair of jeans as well, which has a bit of this feature. It's pretty cool. And I'm wearing Vans that I found at home, which apparently belongs to no one but fits me perfectly. And so I don't really know if I bought it in the past and like forgot about it or what, but it's actually really comfortable. So yeah, this is the outfit of today. And right now I'm gonna change to my yoga pants so that I can be a little bit more flexible. But I thought that this outfit was pretty cute. It's pretty street as well, which is, like I've said in the past, it's not my usual go-to style, but I thought it was pretty cute. Yeah, so here we go. Yeah! Not gonna lie, this toilet is manky as. I just finished the class. It took a while getting used to like stay on the board, but it was really fun. After a while, like if you know how to carve, it's actually pretty cool. So I might actually go for more lessons. Yeah, I feel like it's a really nice way to spend a Saturday out. Before I head home, I thought I would treat myself to some matcha. So we're gonna make our way to Suntec, which isn't too far from here, and I really look forward to having dessert. Hello! I am actually back in my house. I decided to save money and not get matcha because I remembered that we have coconut shake at home. So this is actually my mom's, but she forgot about it, so I asked her if I could have it, and here we are. I wanted to end off this video with a little bit of a chat, a little bit of a heart-to-heart. I feel like I haven't had this in a really long time. I don't really know how I want my channel to move forward, because I think I've been reflecting about it a lot, and I don't really feel like I'm cut out for YouTube, or like I don't really see myself as a YouTuber in the sense where I don't really fit in like a specific category, if that makes sense, because I don't do enough content of a specific niche. I feel like my interests vary a lot, and so it's very hard. Honestly, it's so incredibly hard to grow a channel when you're not consistent, especially if you're not consistent in an area, because YouTube works on an algorithm, and basically they'll try to push out your videos once they get a sense of what your channel is about. But for me, I don't really know what I want my channel to be about. Yeah, but I do feel that I really just want this channel to be an outlet where I get to share. I think that's where and how I started this channel at the very naive age of 23. Yeah, it's so crazy. I'm almost 30. I'm actually turning 30 this year, and I know I don't look like it. A lot of people think I'm like 25, but no, I'm almost 30. And it's been quite the journey. I'm sorry also if this straw is like a little bit distracting and out of frame. Hang on. Also, I'm sorry if I keep looking there because my LCD screen is there, so I'm just trying to make sure my head doesn't get cut out of the frame. Yeah, I've actually really struggled trying to grow this channel and I guess kind of navigate my life. I think if you've been following the channel for a while, at least in the last 2 years, you would have known that I actually moved back to Singapore from Sydney. And I would say that that entire transition has been really difficult. I think that I only kind of got out of it in a better headspace and like heart-wise healed towards like the start of last year. But then that really transitioned into a whole other thing, which I guess I wanted to talk a little bit about. Hopefully sharing today will be able to encourage you, because yeah, I feel like even though I'm alone in my situation, I do feel that there are probably people out there who can relate. So hopefully a little bit of sharing will be able to encourage you. Yeah, so today's video, I actually thought or had the idea of wanting to go on a date, like a little solo date to, you know, reset and be better at taking rest. I feel like I'm not really great at resting, if that makes sense. I remember once a friend told me that I rest from work by doing other work, which is really true. And I think what she meant, or to kind of give you a little bit of a better idea on that, is that I have my full-time job, but when I take a break from that, I am doing stuff like YouTube or content creation or sewing, which also feels like work, because eventually I would love for this to grow and to be able to make a living out of it, because this is something that I'm super, you know, passionate about. It's something I really enjoy, but it's been very difficult trying to even kind of get into that space of being able to monetize this. So I've really struggled in the area of being a creative, and more specifically being a financially independent creative. It's been very hard. While I don't regret it, I do wish that it would be a lot easier. But obviously, I feel like with things that you want to fight for, a lot of times you have to put in the hard work, especially when it's really unconventional means of living. So for example, I think living in Singapore especially, or at least in my situation, I feel that as a creative, it is a little bit difficult to earn a really high income. I don't know if it's just me, or like if it's like just Singapore as a whole. I feel that you would do very well financially in life if you did the mainstream jobs, like being in the finance industry, being a doctor, dentist, or lawyer. Like those really traditional high-paying jobs. I feel that that's still very prevalent in Singapore. In a way, I do feel alone in at least my social circle, because most, if not like everyone I know, is working a job that is paying them well, which I'm so happy for them. As a creative, because I get paid a really low base salary and then commissioned per hour. So depending on how many hours I shoot a month, that's how much I get paid. So it kind of feels like still being in that freelance life. Yeah, I honestly have been struggling. And I guess on most days it's okay. I kind of just suck it up and like, you know, I enjoy what I do, which is currently shooting weddings. But there are days where I feel the comparison kicking in. And yeah, there are days where I just don't feel that great about my situation. Yeah, and I think also being the second eldest kid in the family who is like struggling, I've always had this kind of pressure in the back of my mind of like not living up to expectations, which I know shouldn't be the case, but I do feel like, yeah, I think there are times where I do feel sad. As you can tell, I'm getting a little bit emotional, but I do feel sad not being able to be like the role model that I would like to be for my younger siblings. But thankfully, my younger siblings are doing so well. Like financially, I think they're in a really great place, and I'm so happy for them. If anything, I feel like I'm the youngest sibling in terms of where I am in life at the moment. Yeah, there are days where I do feel that I'm very behind my cohort, or like just amongst my peers or like amongst my siblings, I do feel like I'm a little bit behind. Yeah, I think this week in particular, no, actually in the last 2 weeks, I've been a little bit down, which is why it's been very difficult for me to vlog because I'm a very emotional person, and so if I'm not in the right heart space, it's very difficult for me to pick up the camera. But I feel like I'm in a much better place now and I'm slowly coming out of things. Yeah, but it's been tough. On the bright side, I do enjoy being able to share or like have these sort of real conversations because I don't really see that a lot online. I feel like a lot of times, or at least on social media, we always see people's like highlights and stuff, but I actually am always really encouraged and fascinated when I see people struggle and like when people talk about their struggles, because it makes it more relatable. And not saying that we should celebrate struggles or anything, because like who wants to do that, but I think it just makes these sort of conversations a lot more like real and authentic. And I think that's something I've always wanted this channel to be, is to be authentic and real. And as a person, I feel like it's very difficult for me to fake things. Like, I just can't fake what's not there. So I think right now, that's kind of like where I'm at. Things are a lot better now than it was, especially at the start of last year. I think that was probably one of the lowest points in my journey so far. Yeah, if you know a little bit of the backstory, like my move back to Singapore was actually quite traumatic because it was a very unplanned decision, but it was something that I felt peace doing at the time, although I didn't really know what that would look like. And I've been sort of struggling with the reality of trying to, remain as a creative and being able to thrive in Singapore. I've probably mentioned this before, but I do feel that Singapore isn't really the city for me. And not that there's anything bad about this city. I think it's a really amazing city. People are so hardworking. And it's amazing how this country has grown and flourished as such a thriving first world country within a really short period of time. So for that, I think it's so amazing. But I don't really feel like it's my city, and that's something that I don't really know how to explain because it's something just very intuitive. Like, I just feel that I'm here for a season, and it's been a really challenging season, but it's also been a really good one. Yeah, and if you kind of also know, like, I was actually working as a designer and I really struggled doing that, and being able to transition out of that has been really good for my sanity, because I realized that I'm a terrible project manager, or perhaps I wasn't really in the right headspace to be managing, because as a fashion designer, backstory, a lot of it isn't about being artistic and whatnot. A lot of it's actually being able to liaise with factories and like fabrics and trims, have the samples made in the factories, and then making sure everything runs smoothly, making sure that the list of instructions, which we call a tech pack, is very detailed and that the execution of the design is well done. So it was a real eye-opener for me to realize that that's kind of what being a designer is. And because I wasn't in the right emotional space at the time, because I was actually very devastated to move back to Singapore, and it was so bad that I was actually really grieving. I wasn't in the right headspace to be a project manager. So eventually I left because okay, I'm doing a really terrible job in terms of like trying to get to my point. I don't really know what my point is. I think I'll probably figure it out and then I'll come to a conclusion soon. But yeah. So when I left, and the reason why I left that design job was because Singapore at the time was requiring people to be vaccinated, and I didn't want to be forced into that. So yeah, I decided to quit because I didn't want it to cause any issues for anyone, and because of that I had to freelance in order to pay my bills. But that was honestly a very financially painful decision. I don't regret it. I'm actually really proud that I took that stance for myself. And even though I received quite a bit of hostility at times and struggles with that decision, I'm really glad that I stood by it. But that actually kind of was the start to my financial decline situation, because when I was working as a designer, my pay was actually stable, and I thought that it wasn't that high compared to what I was earning in Sydney as a freelance videographer. But I didn't think that I could go even lower. Yeah, so when I started freelancing as a photographer after being a designer, it was just very rough. But I'm really glad that I have a full-time job now as a wedding photographer. So I do have the base as a starting point, but there is more to be desired. So anyways, cutting this very long story short, there are definitely days where I've struggled, where, I've thought, did I do the right thing? Am I on the right path? Why is it so challenging? Why does it feel that I'm alone? But I've actually been really encouraged journaling every day. I feel like journaling has really centered me and grounded me. I actually use the Bible app on the iPhone. You can just search Bible and then it comes out with the app, and I use their daily devotions, and it's actually really helped me, particularly in the last couple of weeks. I found that being committed to doing daily devotions is actually really life-changing. I think in the past I was very flippant about it and I wasn't very consistent, but I think now, as I'm getting older, it's really my lifeline to get through those tough times. I think even as I reflect on my current financial situation, one way, and one huge way that I've been able to stay grateful, is that I realize it's been a very humbling journey, and I am very grateful for the support that I've had with my parents, and I'm also just very grateful that I'm realizing the value of money and like the importance of stewarding it well. Because I think I've not had the best streak when it comes to like saving. It wasn't like until I moved back to Singapore and with the whole, cut in my pay that I realized I was living such a toxic spending cycle. It was bad. But I think now being cash strapped or like having a less than ideal income has actually slowed me down, because I haven't been able to be impulsive with my buying, or at least I've had to kind of hit the brakes a little bit and really reconsider if I should be spending X amount of money on whatever. Yeah, so it's been a real trying time assessing my finances. And oh my gosh, the crazy things, I actually started budgeting, which was never a thing in my life. And okay, this on a really random side note, I started using Notion more consistently, and I actually love it. I might do a Notion tour video sometime down the road, because I've actually been using it for a month and have grown very dependent on it. But the reason why I brought that up is because I've started to take down what I spend on a day-to-day basis on my Notion, which is crazy. And so I have a better idea of like how I'm spending. And it's like, oh my gosh, adulting. I'm finally learning how to adult. Which I really wish they taught us in school, you know, rather than Pythagoras theorems and those kind of things. I guess that's important if you want to be an engineer, but clearly I'm not one. So it would have been great if they actually taught us like finances and taxes at school. Yes, so coming back, I think it's really important to stay grateful, and I'm actually really thankful for all that I've been through. I think it's definitely shaped me. And if you're a Christian like myself, these are words that I guess hits home, but is never really pleasant to hear. And that is allowing God to refine us through our circumstances. Not that He allows bad things to happen to us, but He does use situations to grow us. I'm looking at this verse here, which really spoke to me the other day in 1 Corinthians 15:58. Therefore, my beloved brothers, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. And the last bit there, where your labor is not in vain, really spoke to me. It's been a long labor. Whatever your situation is, I know life isn't always the prettiest and like rainbows and butterflies, but I'm thankful, and I hope that you would be thankful as well, that it will all work out for good, especially if you put your trust in the Lord and, you know, work with Him. I'm gonna end off today's vlog here. Hopefully you were able to get something out of it. I'm gonna try my best to continue creating content, whatever that looks like, but I'm also not gonna put a lot of pressure on myself. Yeah, I think I just want to say learn to enjoy life, even in the struggles of it all. I think there is beauty that we are able to behold and be able to enjoy. And I guess for myself especially, I need to learn to not take life so seriously. I need to learn to laugh more and, yeah, just not overthink about things. Okay, that's it. I will catch you in the next one. Bye!